Is the mic working now? Okay, let's restart, shall we? Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and jabronis. It's Mitch here, live for another week of NFL picks, straight up and versus the spread. This is the video where I break down, preview, predict, and pick every game, every week of the NFL season. If that sounds good, you know what to do. It's free. Gronk, spike the like button, and don't be a jabroni. Subscribe to the channel for the best damn picks on the internet. You're not going to find a more electrifying video than this one right here. That's the bottom line. Let's go. Gronk, spike the like button. Your headphones are working. My mic was on mute. I may be very close to perfect, Strawberry, but I still make mistakes, okay? Let's get to it. Thursday night football. And as Big Al puts it in the chat, don't forget I have another channel, a second channel. It's an NFL betting channel. If you want all of my best bets, my over-unders, my player props, my spread picks, Money Mitch is taking over the internet right now. Go subscribe. Let's go. Thursday night football. We've got what the people are calling the greatest matchup since The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. The Unk Bowl. Joe Flacco. Aaron Rodgers. Joe Flacco versus the Steelers. A little throwback to 2008. By the way, the entire AFC is stuck in 2007. We've got the Colts leading their division, the Steelers leading their division, the Patriots leading their division, and the Chargers leading their division. What year is it? Time does not exist. The past is the future is the past. That is the AFC. The Pittsburgh Steelers are -5.5 on the road at the Cincinnati. I think I can rightfully call them the Bengals. I think that's fair. Now, in terms of injuries, nothing too substantial right now for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Deshaun Elliott is good to go. They have their full front seven and secondary back intact, I do believe. And their defense maybe looked its best. It's looked all year, the last couple of weeks. Now, I will caution you, it was against the Browns with a rookie in his second game, and the Vikings with Carson Wentz. But the Steelers' defense looks a little bit better. Their pass rush dominated Cleveland. Cleveland couldn't block them. And that caused issues all day. Holdings, sacks, pressures, inaccuracies from Dylan Gabriel. That's the Steeler formula. Good pass rush, opportunistic secondary. Their run defense is still spotty, but here's the thing. The Cincinnati Bengals are the Bengals because they can't run the ball. They have no balance, these Bengals. They are one of the worst, if not the worst run offense in the league. And I think right now they're on like a historic pace of inefficiency. But, never doubt the Unk, the gunslinger, Joe Flacco. He came into the game last week against the Packers. It looked a little rough for a half. But then what happened? Flacco started to figure out the playbook. He figured out something that Jake Browning couldn't. I have Jamar Chase on my team. I have T. Higgins on my team. Yeah, I know, that's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy concept. But Joe Flacco figured it out. And if there's ever a quarterback that I want as a 5.5-point underdog in a game where no one thinks they can win, it's probably Joe Flacco. I've seen him beat my Patriots in their prime. And with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, this guy is not going to go down without a fight. It kind of given me Jameis last year in the snow vibes against the Steelers. I like the underdog here. I like the underdog. I like the Bengals with 5.5. I think they can hang around. I think Flacco with another few days to prepare, get a little bit more of the playbook underneath him. He's going to go out there and they're going to chuck it 40 times. And I'm not convinced that the Steelers defense is still all that good. You need to prove it to me, Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin, you could hear it in his voice. I don't know if any of you guys saw it, but Mike Tomlin was like, what are the Browns doing trading within our division? Like, I don't want to face Joe Flacco, is basically what he was saying. I'd rather face Jake Browning. But no, you get Joe Flacco, sir. Aaron Rodgers in the offense, I do like the way they're looking. I like the mix between the Rodgers offense and the Arthur Smith offense. I like the mix of run and pass, screens, heavy tight end formations. I think the Steelers will find a formula in this game to run and pass the ball. And Aaron Rodgers had some vintage moments last week. I do think, though, the Bengals defense has not been as bad as last year. They're not an absolute disaster, but they're not good. I'm going to pick the Steelers to win, Bengals to cover. 24-20, Steelers win. If you haven't already, Gronk, spike the like button. If you haven't already, share this with your friends, foes, and all of your hoes. Let's go. Sunday, the Los Angeles Rams at the Jacksonville Jags. London, their home field. The Rams are -3. This one's interesting. There's a lot of injuries in this game that could dictate the way the game goes. Puka Nakua Puka Di Do did not participate in practice. Rob Havenstein, right tackle, hasn't played in a couple weeks, I feel like. Did not participate in practice. They've already ruled out Devin Lloyd for Jacksonville. Not good. Trayvon Walker, club on the hand. Rob Hainsey, limited in practice. That's good. He could be back because they really missed him against Seattle. That was a disaster. Now, here's the thing. I think both defenses are pretty good. The Rams have a really good pass rush. So did Seattle. Trevor Lawrence's head was spinning in circles. He took 7 sacks against the Seahawks. Can the Rams get 7 sacks on him? Maybe. Lawrence is going to have to get the ball out quick, be decisive against zone coverage. Something that I don't feel comfortable with when it comes to Trevor Lawrence. He has nothing in between the ears. It's missing. He has a lot of hair to cover up the fact that he's an absolute dumbass. On the other side, we have a top 5 quarterback, a Hall of Famer, Matthew Stafford. But he doesn't have his go-to guy, the man that he literally spams, Puka Nacua. Devontae Adams and him don't have much of a connection. The Jags do have a good pass rush. I'm intrigued to see Greg Newsome with more action and practice reps within the defense. Love Jordan Lewis. Gonna give him a shout out. Josh Hines-Allen's a problem. The Rams have good balance. So do the Jags. I like Liam Cohen. I like Sean McVay. I like both these DCs. It's a very even game. It's a good game. But ultimately, the game for me comes down to Matthew Stafford, Trevor Lawrence. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. Give me Matthew Stafford. I hope Puka Nacua plays. That certainly would help me a lot. But I'm sorry to my guy Taken, who says, Duval. Thank you for the super chat. I got to take Stafford. I'm sorry. Trevor Lawrence has zero brain. We're still looking for it. It's not there. Next, the Philadelphia Eagles at the Minnesota Vikings on my NFL Week 6 review. I officially eliminated the Philadelphia Eagles from the playoffs. I put the key in the lock. I twisted it up real nice, and then I threw it away. Because the Eagles are not making the playoffs. And with that statement, I think that I have to pick the Vikings. It probably will be a Carson Wentz revenge game. Minnesota is off of a bye. The Eagles are off of a mini bye. There's some intriguing elements to this game. First of all, there is the Eagles' run game against the Minnesota Vikings' run defense. The Vikings have not been good against the run this year, but Saquon Barkley has not lived up to expectation. He has been cursed by Madden, and the Eagles aren't running the ball that well. In fact, I went through every game on that review show. The Eagles have yet to outgain an opponent. It's been 6 weeks. They have been outgained in every game. Also, they're 22nd on offense in points per drive. They're 23rd on defense. Do they do anything well? The Vikings do have a good pass defense because of Brian Flores. The Eagles have a broken pass offense. A.J. Brown wants to be a Patriot. Everyone knows. The defense of the Eagles, lackluster pass rush. Nolan Smith on IR. Zadarius Smith retired. Jalen Carter, I think, will be back. He was a full participant at practice. And it looks like they'll also have Quinyon Mitchell in there, who left last game. So they should be healthier. Landon Dickerson might also play. That would be pretty significant too. Those guys were all missing from that Giants game. And the Eagles are in a big bounce back spot here. Do I trust the Vikings? Do I trust their offensive line? I don't know. Brian O'Neill, limited in practice. Donovan Jackson, limited in practice. Blake Cashman for the defense could be back. Now, what's interesting about the matchup, Jalen Hurts against Brian Flores. Flores is an incredibly creative coordinator, a blitz mastermind, but also incredible at disguising coverages and showing blitz and dropping out. Similar to the Bucs and Todd Bowles. I think that's going to give the Eagles a tough time if they can't find a way to run the ball. They need to run the ball to win this game. If the Eagles win this game, it's because they ran the ball better. Period. Because I don't think they're moving the ball through the air that well in this game. Because I don't think Hurts is going to be able to decipher what's going on. And on the other side, I don't know. It's Carson Wentz. But the Eagles' pass rush has been bad. And you can pick on Adoree Jackson. You can pick on Kelly Ringo. You can pick on these guys in the secondary. And yeah, Carson Wentz is a jabroni. But the Vikings do have a bye week. Kevin O'Connell to scout and prepare on that bye week. A healthier offensive line. And good weapons. And it's in Minnesota. Carson Wentz revenge. I'm rolling with it. I don't love it. This could be an Eagles bounce back. But from what I've seen, the Eagles are not a good team. So, I don't know. Big Al's picking the Eagles. He says if we lose, we're done. He might be right. Next, the Carolina Panthers at the New York Jets. We have the worst coach in the league. Carolina, -1.5. If you think I'm going to put my credibility on the line live on the Bottom Line View by picking Aaron Glenn in any football game, then you are a jabroni. I am not picking the Jets. There's no chance. I don't care. I don't care if Cam Newton came out of retirement and played right now as the quarterback of the Panthers. I don't care if Jake Delhomme was the quarterback of the Panthers. I would still pick the Panthers. The Jets are a joke. A joke. Jalen Coker is back. Austin Corbett at center might be back for the Panthers. Chuba Hubbard could be back to play backup to Rico Dowdle, because Rico is too suave right now. Taylor Moton might be back. That's some big additions for Carolina. On the other side, I was going to say Zach Wilson. Might as well be with Justin Fields throwing you the ball. Garrett Wilson, out. How are the Jets going to throw the ball? Justin Fields is legally blind. Legally. Their run game is good, but I just saw the Panthers stuff Javonte Williams continuously. Derek Brown's a monster. The Jets have Josh Reynolds as their receiver 1. Are we kidding? The Panthers are rolling. They eventually have to win a road game. And yeah, I know the Jets eventually have to win a game. But Justin Fields sucks. Aaron Glenn sucks. This is one of the worst coach-quarterback combinations I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen a lot of bad ones for the Jets. Give me the Panthers. Bryce, baby, keep pounding. Next. The greatest franchise in NFL history. The team that is going to defeat the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship, the New England Patriots, at the Tennessee Titans. It's Mike Vrabel revenge. The week that Mike Vrabel returns, they fire their coach. And not only their head coach, but their O-line coach also said, see you later. So how do we feel about that? Injury-wise, Tennessee could be getting a little bit healthier here, if it matters to you at all. Actually, somewhat, kind of. So, Jeff Simmons did not participate in practice, but I'm pretty sure he's going to play. Yo, what the heck is going on? I don't understand. I don't know why my mic is muting like that. That doesn't make any sense. I didn't even press anything. That's weird. But I don't know where I was. But the Titans are without their top corner and arguably their top edge rusher, at least at practice right now. We'll see if they play. Drake May, MVP. The mic is a jabroni. I don't know what this mic is doing. He's acting out of line. But Calvin Ridley also didn't participate in practice. Calvin Ridley's beat up. I think that the Patriots go to Tennessee just as they went to Buffalo, just as they went to New Orleans. They roll up. They say, We have arrived. Drake May tosses that football deep. They put up 27, 30 points. They get after Cam Ward. And it's a wrap. Mike Vrabel has this team running through a brick wall this week. I might run through a brick wall. Patriots, by at least 10 points, beat the worst team in football. They keep it rolling, baby. Keep it rolling. Let's go. Next one. We've got the Cowboys at the Washington Commanders. One of the best games of the week. This game's final score might be 65-60. These are two of the worst defenses in the NFL. The Commander injury report. Dorrance Armstrong did not participate. I'm not sure which ones of these are rest or not. Zach Ertz, probably rest. He seems fine. Javon Kinlaw did not participate. Von Miller did not participate. Might be rest. Daron Payne did not participate. Deebo Samuel did not participate. Laramie Tunzel did not participate. Bobby Wagner did not participate. Now, do you see what I'm going through here? All these jabronis are old. Every single last one of them. Now, Terry McLaurin did return to practice. Terry McLaurin might be playing, and I might have to insert him directly into my fantasy lineup. But I like the Cowboys. I like the Cowboys. Why, you ask? Yes, the Dallas Cowboys have a bunch of jabronis on their defense. They can't get to the quarterback. They can't cover Leanne in the chat if their life depended on it. But this is going to be a good old-fashioned shootout. And Dakota Prescott gets back his number uno wide receiver, C.D. Lamb, number 88. And the other guy, George Pickens, is literally uncoverable. Ask the Panthers. Pickens, Lamb versus man coverage. And then you got Javonte Williams against this run defense. I don't know if the Cowboys are going to be stopped in the entire game. I don't know if they'll punt. Dak is playing better than Jaden. Don't listen to anybody that tells you otherwise. We're going bottom line. Dak greater than Jaden. Period. Debo's hurt. McLaurin's beat up. The Commander run game is good. I'll give them credit. But the Cowboys can throw it. They can run it. They can outpace the Commanders. And the Dallas Cowboys beat the Commanders without Dak last year. I've got the Cowboys. Upset at home. Next. The Raiders at the Kansas City Chiefs. The Raiders are getting 12 points in this game. Not 11. 12. Jacoby Myers did not participate in practice. I didn't know he was hurt. I kind of think he might get traded. Brock Bowers did not participate. He's been hurt. On the other side, Josh Simmons apparently is a criminal. Still trying to find out what happened. Brashard Smith didn't participate, but they have 5 other running backs, so why does it matter? Rashee Rice, full participant. Now, here's the deal. I like the Chiefs in this game. Chiefs win, Chiefs cover. It's in Arrowhead. Check. Pete Carroll should be in a elderly home. Check. The Chiefs offense is back. Check. The Raiders are good against the run, but bad against the pass. The Chiefs can't run the ball, but they can throw the ball. They've got Rashee Rice back. More meaning to run up the score. Xavier Worthy, he's a real receiver one. Tyquan Thornton, nice little third receiver to stretch the field. Travis Kelce, he might take this game off to go hang out with Taylor, but he might play too. The Chiefs' offense is back. This is a 30-burger for the Chiefs. The Raiders' defense is no good. They can stop the run, but not the pass. Mahomes should throw 3 touchdowns. And on the other side, I have no faith the Raiders are going to score any points. The Chiefs aren't a great defense, but here's what they do well. They blitz. And they can expose a bad offensive line. And the Raiders have a putrid offensive line. Colton Miller out. Run game non-existent for the Raiders. No Myers, no Bowers. Who's getting open for the Raiders? Trey Tucker? Not against Trent McDuffie. Geno's in for a bad day. In a big way. Chiefs win 33-17. Win and cover. Next. The Indianapolis Colts. At the Chargers. If you haven't already, Gronk, spike the like button. Let's check the injury report on this one. There's that. This one's interesting. So I think this will be a good game. It's in LA. I'm not gonna lie. I like the Colts as a dog here. I don't think this is a good matchup for the Chargers. Why? The Chargers right now are overrated. I see everyone put them in their top 10, top 12 in their power rankings. I don't know what drugs they're on. I put them number 16 or something. A team that can't stop the run and can't block is not a top 10 team in the NFL. I don't care how sexy Justin Herbert's girlfriend is. They're not a top 10 team. I don't care. I don't care if Keenan Allen's back. Okay? I like the Colts. Why? The Colts can run the ball. They're a top-tier run team in the league. The Chargers can't stop the run. No Khalil Mack until further notice. Daniel Dimes, a.k.a. Indiana Jones, is going to have time to throw because the Colts O-line is way better than the Chargers pass rush. Josh Downs might be out. Alec Pierce might be in. That would suck, but Tyler Warren, uncoverable, so it doesn't really matter. I feel like Daniel Jones can just take what's there. And Shane Steichen, with time for Daniel Jones, he's going to find ways to move the ball. I'm not worried about that. They're going to have great balance, run the ball, commit to Jonathan Taylor, have time of possession, control the game. The Colts on the other side, they don't have a great pass rush, but they certainly have guys that will cause issues for the Chargers offensive line, including DeForest Buckner. And they can stop the run better than the Chargers can. So the Colts, they're depleted in the secondary, but I think they can get more pressure, which will ultimately, cause sacks, negative plays in the run game, pass game. And then ultimately, big game Lou Anarumo, will probably come with some creative blitz packages, including putting a wide receiver at linebacker, which was pretty wild. He did that last week. I don't love the Colts defense, but I feel like against the Chargers offensive line, they'll make enough plays and enough stops for the Colts to win this game. So I'm going to take the Colts because of the line of scrimmage advantage. Indianapolis goes to LA in a matchup straight out of 2007, and they beat the Chargers. Next. The Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins might lose to Cleveland. Ha! You know you're bad when the Cleveland Browns are favored over your team. My goodness, Dirk can't show his face. He doesn't anyways. But both teams are 1-5. Both teams are 1-5. We've got the best leader in football to turn the ball over, blaming everybody for his mistakes. The guy throws 3 picks, and then he throws his entire team under the bus. Looking at the Dolphins injury report, Elijah Campbell did not participate. Don't care. Alec Ingold didn't participate. That's actually kind of a little bit of a big deal. Darren Waller's on the injury report. Who's surprised by that? But he was limited. They seem mostly healthy, except for the guy that was the happiest man on earth when he got injured, Tyreek Hill, of course. Jack Conklin did not participate for the Browns. Wow, I am absolutely blown away. I did not expect that whatsoever. Jack Conklin's hurt for like the 10th year in a row. I am shocked. David Njoku did not participate either. I don't know if that's rest, though. Cleveland's at home. Cleveland at home is better than on the road. Period. Fact. I'm not really know why. Maybe it has something to do with the grass. Maybe it has something to do with the dog pound. Maybe it has something to do with the Cleveland air. I don't know. Maybe it's Myles Garrett's pregame meal. I'm not exactly sure why Cleveland's better at home, but they are. Cleveland can run the ball, and Miami can't really stop the run. We've seen 2 consecutive weeks. Vidal went for 180 yards or something like that. Hubbard went for 180 the week before, or not Hubbard, Dowdle, the real running back. Rico Suave went for 180 yards against the Dolphins. So I think Judkins could have a big day. Ford could have a good day. I think Dylan Gabriel, against this team could probably have some success with his Jerry Jeudy and Fannin and Njoku. And Cleveland just got a way better defense, and they're at home. And it's Tua. If you think I'm going to sit here and pick the Dolphins, that would be irresponsible of me. I can't pick this absolute shit show. This team is imploding. Mike McDaniel's already looking for his next job. They're imploding. Miami's going to lose because they don't want to win. Period. Dylan Gabriel's going to get his first NFL win. Cleveland wins. Cleveland covers. Bob is right. Listen to Bob. Next. The New York Giants at the Denver Broncos. Broncos -7. Do the Denver Broncos deserve to be favored by 7 against an NFL team? Not named the Titans or the Jets? Well, I guess not the Jets, because somehow they didn't cover that game. I don't know how that was. Wow. I don't know how they managed that. But point being, Denver is pretty healthy, by the way. The only guy that did not practice is Jonah Ellis. Dre Greenlaw limited, but I don't think he'll play this week. He might play, but probably unlikely. Everyone else is pretty healthy. For the Giants, Deonte Banks did not participate. He's a backup. John Michael Schmitz did not participate. Darius Slayton did not participate. Slayton missed last week too, and it didn't really matter, so I'm not going to say it matters too much in this game. Although any good receivers would help against Denver because they have a great defense and they have a very good secondary. Now, this is a pretty big nightmare for the Giants offense. Taking on the Broncos in Mile High. Nick Bonito is a human sacking machine. The Giants' offensive line has been better this year. Jackson Dart is mobile and can avoid pressure, but he does hold on the ball a long time. And the Broncos are not unathletic and slow and fat like the Eagles' defensive line. And they actually can cover people. So, it's not going to be as easy as Thursday night was. That being said, the Giants have a 10-day rest for a team returning home back from a London trip. That's a decent advantage. They still have to go to Denver and play in Mile High, which is always tough, but it's still a pretty big advantage in that regard. Cam Scadaboo, can he find a way to run against this unit? It's not going to be easy, but he'll try to slam his head through the brick wall. I just don't know how much trust I have in Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos offense. The Broncos offense is not good. They haven't been good all year. And the Giants have been surprising us. And the Giants have been a team that they're hanging around in these games. They believe in their coaching staff. They believe in themselves, their identity, what they are. And Denver, they're just sloppy on offense. Can they run the ball against the Giants? I feel like that could be the avenue for them offensively because the Giants have been susceptible to the run. Denver also has a good offensive line that should be able to block the Giants. But they struggle to score on the Jets. And the Jets are not a good defense. They haven't been all year. But the Giants don't have a great secondary. This is tough. I kind of need to take the Giants with the 7. But I'm not sure. I don't know. I could see Denver at home with their defense dominating the rookie quarterback. I could definitely see that happening. The Giants playing a sloppy game after a big win on Thursday night. I could see that. But at the same, and Denver getting back to it after a sloppy performance against the Jets. I could see Denver winning by 10. They probably should win by 10 to 14 points. They're a lot more talented than the Giants. So this one's scary, man. But given the way the Broncos offense is performing, I don't know if I really can trust them. So this is certainly not no best bet. I'll go Denver to win. Giants to cover, I guess. I don't know. Next. The Green Bay Packers at the Arizona Cardinals. Green Bay favored by 6.5. I think Jacoby Brissett will be the quarterback. Let me check the injury report. I'm not 100% sure. Kyler Murray was limited. I don't know if that tells us much. DeMarcado did not participate. Rumor is that he's been kicked to Siberia by Jonathan Gannon. Zay Jones did not participate. It's kind of big because he's been playing well. Walter Nolan might be coming back soon. That's good. But we're looking at the Packers. Their kicker didn't participate. Zach Tom didn't participate. Lucas Van Ness did not participate. Those are pretty big injuries. Devontae Wyatt didn't participate. He hasn't played in a couple weeks. Both Lucas Van Ness and Devontae Wyatt not participating is pretty significant for the defensive line of the Packers, which is the strength of their team, or should be the strength of their team. Christian Watson could return in this game. I actually expect him to play in this game. He practiced last week. He didn't play last week, but he might play this week. Adding that speed to the offense might be useful to open up other players. And it does feel like the Packers have been missing one more weapon. I think the Packers are the better team. The uncertainty here of the Cardinals' quarterback situation is murky, but I'm not sure it really matters that much. I'm going to take Cardinals to cover, Packers to win. Packers haven't been impressing me by blowing away or beating up on bad teams, or even convincingly winning games. So I think the Cardinals will hang around. The Cardinals are not a bad team. They're solid defensively. They're well schemed. Their secondary is a bit healthier now. Their run defense is okay. Their pass defense is okay. They're a pretty middling defense. Offensively, they were impressive on their play action pass last week. And I feel like if they can do a lot of that again, maybe they can block up. They get extra protectors, block up that pass rush, get some opportunities to make some plays downfield against the secondary. So I think the Cardinals can hang in this game. But I think the Packers are the more talented team with the more consistent offense. They have balance on offense. Got to check the injury report going into this game. But I'm going to go Packers. Win, Cardinals cover. This is a game that I don't really have a great schematical feel for how it will look. It's probably the one game this week where I'm really intrigued to just see how it looks on the field. And I want to see the Packers kind of prove it to me, because I feel like I have them high in my power rankings. I think they're a very good team. Arizona's been pretty good at home, but they haven't overall been convincing the Packers, especially on the road. They've been a lot better at home. Just to throw that out there. The Atlanta Falcons at the San Francisco 49ers. And Big Al is asking about Saints and Bears. That's a good point. I don't know if maybe I forgot to make the graphic for that. So hold on. We'll get that to you at the end. If I have to make the graphic for you guys live, I'll make the graphic for you. But Sunday Night Football, or maybe I just forgot to load it up. I'm not sure. Let me see. It looks like I didn't make the graphic, so I'm going to have to make that graphic right now. But Atlanta Falcons, San Francisco 49ers. Let's break that one down. If you guys haven't already, Gronk, Spike, the like. Okay. So this is Sunday Night Football. This is another injury-consumed football game, obviously. Any game with the 49ers is going to feature a lot of injuries. Allow me to go through the injury report for the 49ers. First of all, Nick Bosa and Fred Warner are on IR. Oh boy. I'm just going to go through the did not participates because there's way too many here to go through the whole thing. Yetur Gross-Matos did not participate. Christian McCaffrey, rest, did not participate. Sky Moore did not participate. Ricky Pearsall did not participate. Dominic Pooney did not participate. Fred Warner obviously did not participate. Trent Williams, rest, did not participate. And then there's a bunch of limited. Okay. On the other side, Billy Bowman for the Falcons, rookie starter in the secondary, did not participate. Leonard Floyd did not participate. That might be rest. I'm not sure. Jake Matthews did not participate. That's a big injury. Clark Phillips did not participate. Jalen Walker did not participate. That's also a pretty big injury. Darnell Mooney, limited, could be back this week. Something tells me that the Niners are going to win this game. I think everyone is going to pick the Falcons, as they probably should. The Falcons are the better team. Statistically, they are better offensively and defensively. Defensively, they're the number one defense in yards allowed, and offensively, they're number two. But this game is in San Francisco. Atlanta's coming on a short week off a huge win against Josh Allen and the Bills. And do I trust Atlanta to have back-to-back big wins on primetime? I'm not sure I'm there yet with Michael Penix. I'm not sure I'm there yet with the Falcons or Raheem Morris. Strawberry makes a good point that if Mac Jones plays, they are certainly worse against the blitz, especially with the current receiving core that they have. Part of the problem when teams blitz you is you need receivers to get open quickly. And when a quarterback does not have that, it's difficult to beat the blitz if you're not an extremely good athlete. We even saw with Josh Allen, he did not have the guys to separate on the outside. And because of that, they couldn't move the ball. Even Josh Allen struggled against the Falcons blitz because of the receiver talent. And that's kind of what happened against the Bucs in moments. But, I mean, Mac still had a pretty good game in that one, putting up over 300 yards once again. The Niners actually, interestingly enough, with all their injuries, lead the NFL in passing yards per game by about 30 yards. And they've played two different quarterbacks, Mac Jones and Brock Purdy. I actually think Brock Purdy will play this game. I think George Kittle will play, but I'm not 100% sure. I think Jawan Jennings will play beat up, but I don't think he'll be 100%. The offensive line for the Niners should all be playing in this game. McCaffrey obviously should be playing. Kendrick Bourne's been great. Defensively, though, I think the Niners are really hurting, and I need to see Robert Saleh put together a good game plan in order to win this game. Nick Bosa out. There's been a lack of pressure and a lack of pass rush. Fred Warner out. How does that affect the communication in the secondary defensively? I think the Niners need to come with a blitz. I think the Niners need to ramp up the aggression. They need to count on their secondary a little bit more because they need to get some pass rush. And they're not getting it with a four-man rush. Can they stop Bijan? I think they'll be okay in that regard. I don't think they'll get ran over necessarily. Jake Matthews being out is a pretty big deal because now both tackles for the Falcons are injured. So if you want to create pressure, that's a good way to do it. I just feel like the Niners at home, tough to beat. If Brock's back, I feel better about playing against the Falcons' defensive scheme. I think it will be a really close game either way, though. I don't think Ricky will play. Maybe he will, but I don't think so. We'll see. I hope so. But I think the bottom line here is I don't trust the Falcons to win back-to-back big primetime games. I'm not there yet with the Falcons. I rank them higher than the 49ers in my power rankings. I think they are probably the better team, but I just don't trust them. I just don't trust them. And I do think the Niners are significantly better from a coaching perspective. We'll see what happens. The Falcons could kill the Niners, and I wouldn't even be shocked. But I feel like this is going to be a close game. I think it's going to be like a 23-20, 24-21 type game. Falcons are out of the dome. They're on the road. They did lose 30-0 against Carolina on the road. But they also beat the Vikings in primetime on the road. So you got to give them some credit. Falcons have been good this year. Some about them, I just don't trust them. Maybe it's the logo. I don't know. Okay, let's make that Saints-Bears matchup. If you guys haven't already, Gronk spiked the like button. Just a reminder, guys, that I do have a second channel. If you're unaware, I have a second channel. It's called Money Mitch. It's a betting channel. It's where I make all my best bets. It's where I break down my best bets versus the spread. My best bets in terms of over-unders. Okay? And also my player props, too. 33 likes. Thank you, guys. All right. Let's talk about the Saints and the Bears as I download this right now. I actually am really intrigued by this game. This might be a best bet on Money Mitch, so I want to take the time to talk about it. Okay. Let's go. We're going to go. Hold on. There we go. All right. Just made that live on the spot. Chicago -5 at home. I'm picking the Saints. I'm picking the New Orleans Saints. Bears are coming off a Monday Night Football win against the Washington Commanders. Caleb Williams failed to impress me. DeAndre Swift did impress me. Ben Johnson is a maniac. He did impress me a little bit. The defense of the Bears did look a little bit better, but I didn't think they were great. There's still some susceptibilities. The run defense of the Bears can be taken advantage of. I think that Kamara and Miller can run the ball on this team. I've seen the Saints run the ball on a few different opponents. Last week, they couldn't do it against the Patriots, but that's a good run defense. Olave and Shaheed against a bad secondary can be a problem. And Spencer Rattler might actually be better than Caleb Williams. Maybe that's crazy. He's certainly more accurate. And inside structure, I think he is a better quarterback. Outside structure, Caleb is more athletic. He makes more big plays. But inside structure, Spencer Rattler has impressed me the last few weeks. They hung with the Bills on the road. They were close against the Niners, the Cardinals, and the Patriots. They beat the Giants. The Bears have a susceptible defense, and I feel like coming off a big win, they won't take the Saints seriously. The Saints defense is good against the run, not good against the pass. DeAndre Swift and the Bears, that's the way they won last week. They ran the ball. I don't think they'll run the ball that well against the Saints. I think the Saints have a sneaky, decent interior defensive line. They do play a ton of zone, and I kind of feel like if Brandon Staley just keeps their two safeties deep, first of all, Caleb can't throw deep anyways. But I feel like if you make Caleb play quick, decisive every down, and you make him go the length of the field, he'll struggle because eventually he'll run around and make a mistake. So I think the Saints are going to give the Bears a tough time. Obviously, the Bears are favored for a reason. They're more talented. They're at home. The Bears have been better at home than on the road. But I think it's a tough spot. And I think the Saints are better than people think, especially after what I saw against New England. It's not like they should have beat the Patriots. Like, they definitely were not the better team. There was some really awful reffing there. But at the same time, I just kind of feel like everything has come together for them in terms of, like, Kellen Moore's doing a really good job. And I think Rattler's playing pretty good. And I think they sneak up on the Bears here. So, maybe I'm crazy. I'm out on a limb. But I'm going to take the Saints. All right. Monday Night Football. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Detroit Lions. Detroit is laying 5.5 against my number one team in the power rankings. Now, some of it has to do due to injuries. But let's break the game down. I think the Bucs could be getting back Mike Evans, potentially. Cornerbacks, McCollum and Morrison could also be back. Those would be huge additions to Tampa Bay. The Lions still have some injuries in their secondary. Brian Branch got suspended for a game. And the Lions, I'm not sure if Arnold will play. I'm not sure if Reed will play. I don't think Reed will play. And then I don't really know about the whole injury in the secondary situation as of today. So it's kind of difficult to pick that. But I do know that the Bucs defense is a tough matchup for Jared Goff and the Lions. The Bucs are good against the run. The Lions' bread and butter is the run game. The Bucs like to blitz, and Jared Goff, if anything, gets antsy sometimes against the blitz, as we saw with the Chiefs. And Taylor Decker not being there certainly allowed the Chiefs to get some pressure. Can Bowles find a formula to get a couple mistakes from Goff and or some sacks and or some stops? Yeah, Branch is suspended for the whatever happened at the end of that game, the fight or whatever. So I think that the Bucs inherently are a tough matchup for the Lions. But the thing that hurts me with my lack of recognition for this game is the receiving core of the Bucs. Emeka Egbuka not going to be playing. Chris Godwin, I don't think will be playing. Mike Evans, it's uncertain. It's difficult to make a pick on Wednesday. If Mike Evans plays, I'm going to pick the Bucs to cover and to win. If the Bucs don't have Mike Evans, I'll take the Bucs to cover, but the Lions to win. I think that the Lions probably need this game more. The Lions are also better at home. But it kind of comes down to the injuries for me. Straight up. But I like the Bucs with the points no matter what. I think the Bucs are going to hang in this game. Because the Lions defense, without those guys in the secondary, it's just not very good. It fundamentally changes the way their defense operates. So I'll take the Bucs with the points big time. But Lions, if no Mike Evans. Bucs, if Mike Evans. That's basically the way I would pick this game. Because I don't know if they can beat the Lions with no top weapons. No top 4 receivers. That's pretty tough. So that's my pick. And then we have the Houston Texans at the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle favored by 3.5. Houston is one of the teams I'm most intrigued by coming out of this bye. Houston looked a lot better the last couple games on offense. They protected CJ Stroud better. They were running the ball, throwing the ball, play action. They had some balance. They looked really good against the Ravens. They dominated the Ravens. And they looked pretty good against the Titans in that second half. Does CJ Stroud have his swagger back? Can they find a formula here? The offensive coordinator was with the Rams. He should have familiarity with Mike McDaniel and Seattle. Seattle, it's typically known as a tough place to play because it's loud and it's noisy, and that could be really effective against the Texans offensive line that struggles with communication, picking up blitzes, stunts, and all the things Mike Macdonald's going to throw at them, which is a big problem for my pick here. At the same time, though, Seattle is sucked at home. So I don't know what to make of that. On the other side, the Texans have the best defense in the NFL. Seattle needs to find a way to keep them modest by running the ball. I don't think that Seattle is going to be consistent in terms of their offense because they're not really a consistent offense. They're explosive by throwing the ball downfield to JSN every once in a while. And every once in a while, they get a couple explosives running the ball. But they're not like efficiency monster in terms of like a consistent shred you type of offense. It feels like they win via defense and then big shot plays down the field. I want to pick Seattle here because I think they have the better offensive line. I think they have the more reliable offense. But at the same time, I don't think there's a lot of separation between these teams. I wouldn't be shocked if Houston won this game. I kind of want to take the Texans with the 3 in the hook because I could see them winning the game. Two really good defenses. I think it's a low-scoring game. Probably like a 20-17 type vibe. I think the Seahawks will win it just because I think they have more of a reliable offense. But if the Texans come out here and they look better on offense, look out. That is the Texans introducing themselves back to this NFL contender situation. People are wondering where the AFC contenders are at. If the Texans could figure out how to block, they would be in the conversation because they do have, a certainly elite defense, and we know Stroud has played well, and we know Nico Collins is a dog, and we know they have some skill position players. So it's a matter of, can the Texans find a way to block? And we don't really know what the Texans are yet because the last couple of games they've played the Ravens and the Titans. Seattle, though, has not really beaten a good team. I mean, Jacksonville, I guess. But, they lost to the Bucs and the Niners at home. JJ wants me to pick the Texans. I would like to pick the Texans, but I'm going to go Seattle to win, Texans to cover. Tough pick, as Bob says. Tough pick. Tough pick. There it is, guys. My picks for Week 7. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown, this preview of Week 7. If you did, Gronk, spike the like button. And don't be a jabroni. Subscribe. Deuces.